WinDor Systems product really does fit the part. I mean, it's a beautiful product. What you'll see when you think about thermofoiling is texture. Thermofoiling has a bit of a granular texture to it that you can feel and see to it. That's just part of the thermofoiling process. It can't be smooth. They need to give it a little bit of forgiveness because this is all hand applied in a factory, and having that texture does a really good job of making sure any imperfections that could be there are not seen or observed. And so that's what we're seeing here with the texture. WinDor Systems will do SDLs. What that means is it's surface or simulated divided light, and it's a bar. If we talk about SDLs or you ever hear about SDLs, that means when I run my finger across a window, I can actually feel the division. That's a simulated divided light bar, or a mutton that you would see that you can physically feel when you're touching the glass of a window. If you can't touch that, but you can see that and it's between two panes of glass, that's called a GBG in our world, or a grill between the glass. And so it gives a similar look, but you can't touch it to feel it. If you're a family that cleans your own windows, you may like GBGs better than SDLs because you get to clean the entire window without having to clean each individual window. But if you have disposable income and you have cleaning people that come over into your house, that SDL profile that you would see on a window makes that window more authentic to what windows were originally, where they were made. Ironically, just for historical reference, back in the day when windows became, a big thing in houses, like they needed glass, small panes of glass were common. Larger panes of glass were not. So if it was a larger pane of glass, you paid a lot more money for the glass the bigger it was. And so back in the day, it was less expensive to put 4 pieces of glass inside a window that was framed out that way and set in place. Well, technology, CNC machines, automated system, robots in these manufacturing facilities now, it actually takes less time and energy to do a single piece of glass for an entire opening now than it did back in the day. And if we wanted to do true divided light, there's only a few manufacturers that'll do that. Why did that true divided light go away? For several reasons. Again, we can do bigger glass now for less money, which means that we're not getting penalized for doing bigger pieces of glass. It also helps us to avoid all the divisions when it comes to bigger openings. We don't want to have it too busy to where we're having an obstructed view. But then in addition to that, every time you got a full transition from the inside to out, if you had real structure between those two spaces, that's a point where I've got heat and cool communicating. And so you could see this unit performing not as good, or having less of a performance value the more division I have within that glass. And so some of it's practical for the manufacturers, some of it's saving money, but others is because they want those units to perform from an energy efficiency standpoint as best as they can. Talk about WinDor Systems. Again, this is their direct set of their picture window, their casement picture window. It looks like steel. It pairs really well with Western sliders or modern steel entry doors, but it's a budget product that we can put in crazy ways. I put this product on a house over in Lakewood a year and a half ago. Put this specific product with the SDLs with a steel entry door. Used this product for the multi-slide unit on the back porch, and the customer sold it for nearly $1.8 million. And so just want to give perspective there. Just because it's vinyl doesn't mean it's bad. Another thing that they do with their product that the other vinyl manufacturers that we carry and other vinyl manufacturers we know of on the market don't do, but when you cut this frame opening and look at it, they actually have aluminum U-channel built into the jambs and the sashes for this product. What's that aluminum U-channel there for? It's to add structural rigidity to the product so that when it does have some movement, because vinyl is malleable, it's going to move some, but when it does move, that aluminum helps to keep it all locked in. And so that's what I love about their product, is they've addressed movement issues. They've got black. They use thermofoil for that so they can get the unit to perform at a higher heat rating, 180 degrees versus 160 degrees. And if you've been in Texas for any amount of time, direct sunlight in late July, early August, man, things get really hot. And so these do everything they can to protect us against window indoor failure. So they offer picture windows, they offer operable casements, just like our cladded wood products. And when we talk about operable casements, there's a lock to release and then there's a handle. And you crank that handle and that window opens up like a door. And if we talk about awning windows, it's just like a casement window, but rather than swinging this way, it actually hinges on the top. And so it just kind of cants out from the bottom. It opens out 9 to 13 inches depending on the manufacturer.